This past weekend, there were 3 major tournaments across the US to kick off Smash for the month of April. Kawaii Kon features some of Hawaii's best with the addition of Gluto, Tweek, Void, and Mars. We also had Battle for the South over in Georgia featuring ApolloKage, Mutace, and Goblin, and many, many more. And to close out the weekend, we had the biggest tournament from this weekend, which was Major Upset, which we definitely did see major upsets, and that featured MKLeo, Sparg0, and many, many more top players, including a lot of character specialists. Here's a quick recap of everything you might have missed. We start this recap off with a trip to Hawaii for Kawaii Kon, and Championship Sunday kicked off with multiple DQs and featured an even mixture of your favorite low tiers and your least favorite DLC. To no surprise, we saw Tweek, Void, Gluto, and Mars make top 8 on winner's side. Tweek would end up beating Void 3-1, while Mars would also defeat Gluto 3-1 to face off in winner's finals. And winner's finals was a close game 5 set where Mars almost brought it back, but unfortunately his chance at making Grams slipped away right in front of him. In the losers bracket, Ban Anime was able to run through the DLC gauntlet in order to deliver the biggest upset of the tournament by defeating Void 3-0. He would eventually go on to lose to Gluto to finish 4th place, which is nothing to be ashamed of. In losers finals, Gluto returned their favor to Mars by defeating him 3-1 this time to advance to Grands. And in Grands, we saw the rare 10-game set as Gluto was able to reset the bracket. And despite a close set overall, Tweek was able to close out Game 10 with a JV3 stock to take first place at this tournament. Next up, we have to take a trip to Georgia for Battle for the South, which featured Georgia's top players with some additional notable names like Mutace, ApolloKage, and Lima. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we start off with 2 Mega Man players in winners top 8 with MPG and Peanut. Unfortunately for them, both Goblin and ApolloKage were able to win their sets 3-1, sending both Mega Man players into losers. ApolloKage faced off against Goblin in winners finals, and Game 4 featured one of the fastest 0 to deaths I've seen in a while, followed by one of the fastest JV3s I've seen in a while. On the loser side of the bracket, Lima swiftly 3-0'd Mutace, while Kobe lost a very close Game 5 to Anathema, and both Lima and Anathema continued their runs by sending both Mega Man out of the tournament at 5th place. Lima continued his run by beating Anathema and Goblin, only to get to Grand Finals and lose to ApolloKage 3-0, making ApolloKage the champion of Battle for the South. Major Upset takes place in Oregon, and this was the final tournament and the biggest for the weekend. And the name of the tournament was fairly accurate as we saw early exits from ESAM, MK Big Boss, Aaron, and Louis Money. And a big reason for this was some of the crazy runs that players had in the losers bracket with characters like Duck Hunt, Olimar, Wolf, and Puff. Winners top 8 started off with some familiar faces that we just saw at Summit, and based on how these players placed at Summit, I guess you could call the outcomes of these sets major upsets. We had the 9th place finisher at Summit upset the 4th place finisher from Summit, and we also had the 13th place finisher from Summit upset the 3rd place finisher from Summit. MKLeo would continue his run using only Pyra and Mithra to defeat Sparg0 in a Game 5 set, sending him to the losers bracket. In losers, we had Jackal take out Base Mage in another Game 5 set, while Chase and Riddles also played in a Game 5 set. And in case you missed Game 4 of this one, I just want you to know that Chase blew a 3-1 stock lead, but you can't really blame him because it is Kazuya Mishima. Riddles would continue his losers run by defeating Kurama, while Jackal would go on to lose to Big D 3-0. And then Riddles got his run back on Big D, who originally sent him to the losers bracket, and would go on to face Sparg0 in losers finals. This set wasn't even close at all, as Sparg0 managed to take the set 3-0. And in Grand Finals, Sparg0 nearly pulled off the 6-0 against Leo, but he did drop a game in the first set. In a dominating performance, Sparg0 was able to take major upset and become the winner of the biggest tournament from this past weekend. And that pretty much wraps up the weekend for Smash. One of the bigger weekends that we've had in Smash in a long time. A lot of times we usually just have like 1, maybe 2 big tournaments, but these were 3, pretty big tournaments with notable names at all of them. Next week, there really aren't a lot of big tournaments going on in the US. We do have a couple big ones around the world though, being in Japan and also France, and we do have San Diego DreamHack. We do also have Royal Brawl, which is going on in Texas, and I'll actually be there myself, so I'll get to check it out in person. So if you guys enjoyed this little recap that I did, let me know in the comments below, and I'll keep doing these for tournaments. I know not everybody has the time to watch all these tournaments, so I like to recap it, that way everybody kind of gets a little piece of what happened. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I always make content like this, and it always helps to support me. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subs this year, so let's make it happen. Other than that, I've got nothing else for you guys, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.